Alright, hello. Today we're going to take a look at another beginner After Effects tutorial, and today we're going to learn how to track motion. So open up After Effects if you haven't already, and go ahead and bring in the clip for the motion that you want to track. I've already dragged mine in here. It is a clip I have used before. It's of myself. Wait a second. But okay, so first thing first, you're going to want to track the motion of the clip. So we are going to come over here to the tracker panel, and we are going to hit track motion, and that's going to make the individual layer panel pop up. This is, like I said, one of the few times it'll actually work. So let me show you what we're looking at. This right here is your tracking point. This is what is going to track the motion of the objects in the shot for you. And just to give a comparison what this tracking point does, if you ever keyframed in Premiere Pro, and by keyframes I mean every single frame has certain instructions for a certain object, or kind of dictates the position or movement of something. So with this tracker point, we'll do is if we set it on, I'll show you how we set it, but it'll play out the video, and it's going to follow a point on the object in the clip that you wanted to do, and it'll have all that information of where it was at that point in the X and Y coordinate in the video. And what will happen is we can attach objects to those tracking points. So say we put the tracking point on the head, and the head's moving up and down, then we can kind of just layer a piece of font next to that tracking point or on top of it, and then the font will be moving up and down with the head, making it look like it's kind of like snapped onto it, which is what we're going to do now. Obviously you can do more than just snap font, but for now we're just going to take a look at this. So let's go ahead and look at the clip if I can, if I'm allowed. Let's press play. Okay, play. Okay, so it kind of just freezes there. I know I have more to this. Let me zoom in here. Let's see. Huh. That's all there is. Interesting. Alright, well, that's all we need. It's not much, but it's we don't need much to kind of display the basics of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to, just to make it easier, we're going to zoom in by scrolling in. Going to open this up a little bit. And when you're picking a tracking point, you usually want to pick something that's easily identifiable to this little box right here. So something that would be pretty identifiable, at least in this case, is going to be put it on the lip of something. For example, that won't work too much because it'll be an outline, and it's only going to follow the outline because it's going to follow the green and the kind of brown beige color of my skin. So say we wanted to track onto, let's have it, try to find a good spot in this video that it can follow. Maybe my nose and nostril, I think, because there's some black and beige that stick together and move like that. So just do that. Let's get small and specific. First. I think that'll work. If it doesn't, we'll find out right away, but here, let's try it. Alright. So click over here, track motion. Oh, sorry, I already did all that. Ignore that last bit of information. So select your tracking point. Pretty sure I have mine. Then we're going to go ahead and come down to the analyze part right here, and we're just going to click play. And now we're going to stop. So as you can see, the tracker point right here tried to follow my nose and nostril. Unfortunately, it came to the other one because as you can see here, it was following the color, so it followed the lighter brown when my face was back over here, and now it's following the lighter brown on this side because the light's now on the side of my face. But that's not too bad of a track. This isn't going to be ideal footage, but this will work. Let's play that back one more time. Yeah, that's not too bad. So what we're going to do now, so we can have this information. So all these points right here, for every frame that it just played through, all that information we have, it's all right here. So if we want to keep it and be able to use it, we're going to come over here, right click, see if I can create, yeah I can, okay. So we're going to come down here to the layers portion of the timeline, right click, come over to new, and then create a null object. Boom. And a null object is pretty much exactly what it is. It's just a null object. You can't see it. You can pretty much the only point of a null object is kind of to retain information, and what we have here is information. So we're going to come over to back to the tracker panel, go to edit target. So fortunately it already knows to apply the information, apply the motion keyframes to this layer, null object 1, and then we're just going to hit OK. So and once we've edited the target, we're going to come over here now, click apply, apply to the X and Y dimensions, hit OK. So now let's see if we come back, it takes us back to the composition panel. All of the information is now onto this null object, which is shown here. So if I click down to this, the other layer I have selected, you'll still see the null object. Now this won't actually be in your final product once you export. It's just kind of there to let you know, like, hey, null object, I'm right here. It's kind of the anchor point coming out right there. So now what we're going to do, just so we can attach a see how the null object moves when you play this, we're going to attach a font to this. Now we don't want to come in here, click on null object, and add a font to that. I don't think it works like that anyways. What we're going to do is we're now going to come over, click on the text tool up here. If you don't have that, I'm pretty sure you can just press T, Control T. And once I click on the composition, it'll create a new text layer for me. So I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to type something in. And put this right here. And so now watch, if I just play through on the timeline, it's not gonna follow and snap to like the null object is following. If we want to do that, we're gonna come down here into the timeline, click on this little squiggle button right here. This is called the pick whip, I believe, and what this does is basically if you want to parent, which means to have one layer dependent on the other for information. So in this case, we want the text to be for it to be informationally dependent on the null object. So we're going to come to the pick whip here, click and drag, that's what I'm doing right now, and we're going to drag it onto null object, and then I'm going to let go. So see now if I look over under this parenting tab that the text layer is parented to null object 1 right here. So now if we go here and press play, we notice that the font or the text layer is now attached to the null object. So now as you can see, that's pretty much it. That's kind of the basics of it. It's pretty simple little thing doing here. Obviously you can do a lot more than just attach fonts. You can, I'm trying to think of some stuff you can do. I mean, you know, when people do those 3D hologram effects, like you have like a 3D hologram popping up on the wall, they track the motion of, you know, where the wall is on the in the shot, and you know, you basically just create your 3D hologram thing, stick it to the wall like you would there, and all of a sudden it looks like, oh hey, I have a 3D hologram thing that I can activate on my wall at any time, blah blah blah. But yeah, this effect is very useful, and it can do a lot of great things and really sell an effect depending on, you know, how well you track the motion of shots. And you know, this is I'm trying to think of a good analogy. This effect is kind of like a paintbrush. You know, you pick your own paint and you can make it whatever you choose to make it. But yeah, that is basically how to track motion. If you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't, send me a hate message. I really want to see negative feedback. I love it. I just live for it. Anything negative, anything just awful, let me know. But yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, if you have any questions, just hit me up, let me know. Okay, thanks. Bye.